Hello friends, I am Dinesh. Today we are going to look at importance of point of sale data in supply chain management. Let us understand what is point of sale data. Point of sale is the computation of actual sales data at the time and place of the actual sale of product in retail store using barcoding or magnetic media and equipment. Point of sale data is important in terms of calculating the demand forecast of particular item for the future. Point of sale data is one of the important input for any forecasting algorithms. If we consider FMCG industry, supply chain is usually consists of different stakeholders. For example, retail store, retail distribution center, manufacturing distribution center, manufacturing plant, tier 1 supplier, tier 2 suppliers, etc. Earlier, in traditional supply chain management systems, historical demand information was being passed from retail store to manufacturing plant using orders placed at each tier of supply chain management. Having many stakeholders involved in supply chain management, this way of information or data passing to upper tier of supply chain management had its own drawbacks, causing distortion in each tier of the supply chain. This effect is called as bullwhip effect. Because of the bullwhip effect, forecasts generated for future will not be accurate, which will end up in overstock of particular item at each tier of supply chain. Let us look at it with the example for bullwhip effect. In example, you can see that there is actual customer demand of 9 units. There is a forecasted customer demand of 10 units at the retail store. To fulfill this demand, retail distribution center ends up ordering 15 units including safety stock of 5. Manufacturing distribution center has a demand of 15 from retail distribution center, but it ends up ordering 20 units including 5 more as a safety stock. Manufacturing plant manufactures 40 units to fulfill the demand of 20 units from the manufacturing distribution center plus 20 units considering to reduce the manufacturing cost and timely delivery. With the bullwhip effect, we can see that even though there was actual demand of 10 units at the retail store, manufacturer ends up manufacturing 40 units, so at each tier of supply chain it ends up with overstock. Overstock of particular item has its own supply chain drawbacks, causing financial losses to the stakeholders. We will discuss on overstock in separate video. One of the recent shift of input to the demand forecasting algorithms is to provide point of sale data as input instead of orders. Point of sale data gets generated at lower tier of supply chain, and this data is aggregated at its immediate upper tier till it reaches the production plant. This way, it will help with accurate input to the demand forecasting algorithm, avoiding the bullwhip effect. Let us look at the example with benefits of point of sale data as an input for the forecasting algorithm. So the supply chain is configured as below. Retail store 1 and retail store 2 are getting supply from retail distribution center 1. Retail store 3 and retail store 4 are getting supply from retail distribution center 2. Retail distribution center 1 and retail distribution center 2 are getting supply from manufacturing distribution centers. Manufacturing distribution center gets supply from manufacturing plant. There is actual demand of 5 units per store. So on retail distribution center 1 and 2 there is a demand of 10. On the manufacturing distribution center there is a demand of 20. Here the demand at the higher tier is just aggregation of the demand from the lower tiers. And safety stock at each tier is calculated using the lead times and the total demand from the lower tiers. So there is no bullwhip effect. This increases the forecast accuracy, which in turn gives many more benefits as mentioned below from the supply chain perspective. It gives increased forecast accuracy. There is a reduction into the overstock. There is a reduction into the stockout situation. It helps in defining the reorder points and reorder quantities. It also helps in defining the days of supply. It helps in improvising different lead times into the supply chain management. It also eventually increases the overall supply chain for particular item. And because of this, it increases the profit and margin. So using point of sale data as input to the demand forecasting algorithm not only helps increasing forecast accuracy, but it helps in making better decisions from supply chain perspective. This helps each tier of supply chain to be efficient and make better real-time decisions.